Long ago, on the plain of Amonkhet, an invader from another land decided he would take the plain for his own. Stealing countless souls, he warped the hearts and minds of the plain to his own design. He took one of their gods as a servant for himself, the Scarab God. The interloper seized the thoughts of his new subject, tying his beliefs into a knot of logic. Without knowing why, the god was now bound to serve the dragon.
The Scarab would wait, guarding the crypt of Eternals, the crypt where all the worthy dead lay in wait after being ushered through the gate to the afterlife and receiving their god pharaoh's gift. These worthy dead would fight to please the dragon and the scarab, proving their worth to be eternalized and serve them forever.
The interloper's plan was in motion. He had his followers. He had his dark confidant. Now, all that was left was the waiting. And so, the Scarab God slept, and he dreamed.
He dreamt of his champions. Champions using their wits, their seduction, their might, their ruthlessness of spirit to stand victorious over their opponents in hopes that eternal life waited for them on the other side. He dreamt of...
Oh, wait, what is this? Scarab God, what? You gotta... They don't want to see these parts of your dreams.
Focus, Scarab God! You have a task! Come on!
He dreamt of an army being raised, an army that would never stop, never tire, never lose focus, an army that would pass over countless lands like a plague, cutting down anything in their path. They weren't afraid of death. They had already died. They would never lose. They would last forever. They would be eternal.
The Scarab God also dreamt of...
God, what the... Why are we even working with the Scarab God? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Scarab, what's the deal? I mean, I guess it does get lonely waiting on your god pharaoh to return. I mean, I can't blame you too much, but I mean,
Get it together, man! He dreamt of damnation, of victory, of conquering those too weak to stand in their way.
Far away, the dragon smiled. His plan was perfect. Oh, hey, Scarab God, I see you. Do your thing, dude. I'm not gonna judge. Your choices are your business. You take care of you, and I'll just worry about myself. So let's talk about the modern deck, Dreams of the Scarab God. Now, what we tried to do with constructing this deck, not only create a deck that was on theme, but also would be competitive in actual modern play. That's why you see cards like Dark Confidant, Thoughtseize, Logic Knot. These cards fit the meta, they fit the curve of the deck, and overall they're just very strong cards.
yeah, one of the things I really like about the deck is the inclusion of Eternal Scourge. The fact that you're able to cast Eternal Scourge from exile works really well with the Scarab God because you're exiling a dude from the yard then you're casting this card again from exile, then it's like, oh, it can die, go to the yard, you can cast it again. So I think that, you know, the fact that it's a graveyard heavy deck makes sense with our Scarab God here.
Absolutely. And then you've just got fantastic targets for reanimation. You've got Vampire Nighthawk. This guy comes back as a 4/4 flying Death Touch lifelinker. Not half bad, especially after they already had to deal with one Vampire Nighthawk. So you play it, it dies, you reanimate it with either the Scarab God or God Pharaoh's Gift, which is the other kind of thematic inclusion here is Gate to the Afterlife and God Pharaoh's Gift, since in the story those were all based around the Scarab God's presence.
Yeah.
You also have Sour of Temptation, which is going to take a permanent from them as it comes into play. So, I mean, you play it, it steals something, you reanimate it, it steals something. It's just going to be pretty punishing to have to deal with a lot of these creatures twice. And that's really what you want to do, is choose cards, choose creatures for the Scarab God's army, quote unquote, that are going to be difficult to deal with, and especially difficult to deal with twice. Yes,
for sure. You know, Champion of Wits, this is a card that, you know, people are talking about. You know, there's just so much value here, having a body that comes in for 3. It fixes your hand. It's like draw cards, discard cards. It creates targets for cards such as, you know, our Scarab God, our Gate to the Afterlife. Let's look at the removal really quick. We have Damnation, we have Fatal Push. Fatal Push is already proven to be a very strong card in Modern, Legacy, obviously in Standard. And then also, you know, Thoughtseize, which is, you know, the #1 best disruption spell, you know, right off the bat. It's like, reveal your hand, and now I'm going to pick a non-land card. And I'm going to look at your entire strategy. So I think lore-wise, the deck is very strong as well. I'm looking at the land with Creeping Tar Pit and Watery Grave, Drowned Catacomb. You know, these are all cards that, you know, thematically fit so well.
As far as the mana curve goes for this deck, you've got between 5 and 10 cards that are converted mana cost 1. Spread across instants and sorceries, you've got just over 5 that are 2. The bulk of this deck lives at converted mana cost 3, and so it's going to be able to kind of keep up in the Modern meta. It's a very fast format, and so you want to make sure that you're staying competitive by having that turn 1, which in a perfect world is Thoughtseize. You know, that turn 2, which can be a Fatal Push in this case, can be a Dark Confidant. That would be a fantastic turn 2 in this deck. And then you've got 3, which opens you up to Eternal Scourge for the first time, Vampire Nighthawk for the first time, you know, Champion of Wits if you need to kind of filter through and get what you need.
Right.
And then as far as card type distribution, you're looking at 27% of the deck that's not lands or spells, and 33% of the deck that's not lands or creatures. And so it's a nice little even split. You've got a solid board wipe. The colors are going to be good in Modern. You've got strong cards. It's on theme and competitive, which was really a goal with us of this deck. So guys, thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of the deck. Let us know what we missed and what we should include. We think it's a you know, fairly competitive deck that definitely is on theme of Dreams of the Scarab God. Minus his more dirty dreams. We chose not to include his dirty dreams.
I like his dirty dreams, and I want to see more of those. If you want to see more
Scarab God, come on, what are you doing? Scarab God, don't. Scarab.
I want to watch.
No, just turn away.
I won't watch, but I'm gonna peek.
Guys, make sure you check out our sponsor links in the description below.
Go
all
down
our social
there.
media's down there.
Click some buttons.
Just click buttons. There's a lot of buttons down there. Choose your favorite one and click it. If you like the video, think about subscribing. Past that, I'm tapped out. Are you tapped out?
Thank you for spending your time with us.
Catch you later.